pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, stop it.
Chief, would you get her, please?
Roll call, please.
Alderman Hoffman.
Here.
Alderman Osteen.
Here.
I knew you were coming in.
That was awesome.
Alderman Schuman.
Here.
Alderman Rucker.
Here.
Alderman Rose.
Here.
Alderman Ross.
Here.
Alderman Harmonson. Or
Here.
Mayor Harmonson.
Here.
Sorry. Demoted already. See?
All right. Good start to tonight's meeting. All right, first of all, we're going to start off with the proclamations. We have a proclamation authorizing the mayor to proclaim the month of November as National American Heritage Month. So, the National Society of Daughters of the American Revolution, American Indians Committee, proclamation National American Indian Heritage Month. Whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by American Indians and indigenous people, and the contributions of American Indians have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today. And their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States. And Native Americans Awareness Week began in 1976, and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990. Designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month, and in honor of National American Indian Heritage Months, community celebrations, as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. I, Michael Harmison, as mayor of the city of Osage Beach, do hereby proclaim November as National American Indian Heritage Month, and with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused a seal of the city of Osage Beach to be affixed the 16th date of November 2023. Now, with that being said, next we move on to citizens' communications. And this is a time set aside on the agenda for citizens and visitors to address the mayor and board on any topic that is not on public hearing. For those here in person, speakers will be restricted to 3 minutes unless otherwise permitted. Minutes may not be donated or transferred from one speaker to another. Visitors attending via online will be in listen-only mode. Any questions or comments for the mayor and board may be sent to the city clerk at tberreth@osagebeach.org no later than 10 a.m. on the board meeting day, the first and third Thursday of each month. Submitted questions and comments may be read during the citizens' communications section of the agenda. The Board of Aldermen will not take any action on any item not listed on the agenda, nor will it respond to questions, although staff may be directed to respond at a later time. The Mayor and Board of Aldermen welcome and value input and feedback from the public. Is there anyone here in person who would like to address the board? If so, please come up, sign in, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to represent.
Is that button on?
Here.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. I'm here to represent the Washashi chapter of DAR, and we ask you to write that proclamation. The meaning of our name, Washashi, is that actually what the Osage Indians called themselves prior to the British and the Americans. So we thank you for reading the proclamation.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being here. All right. All right, is there anybody else who would like to address the board? All right. You're welcome to stay. Feel free to leave at your own convenience. So, all right. All right. We're going to move on to the approval of consent agenda. If the board so desires, the consent agenda may be approved in one single motion. This includes the minutes from the Board of Aldermen meeting November 2nd, 2023, the special budget workshop number 1, October 24th, 2023, special budget workshop number 2, October 26th, 2023, special budget workshop number 3, October 30, 2023, and the bills list November 16th, 2023. Do I have any comments or questions on any of these? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Alderman Rucker.
Did all my corrections get
They
made,
were done in the amended packet.
okay, thank you.
All right. Any other comments or questions? If not, do I have approval to a consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
All right.
I'll second.
All right, we have Alderman Hoffman, Alderman Rose second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And, all right. Alderman Ross, you can hear us okay?
I can hear you fine. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yes. All right, very good, thank you.
Great.
All right, we're going to move on to unfinished business. First, we have Bill 23-79, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing a change to the not-to-exceed amount, changing it from $600,000 to $775,000 for fiscal year 2023 under the existing contract with LOR Engineering, doing business as Cochran Engineering Professional Service Agreement. This is the second reading. Mike Welty, Assistant City Administrator, please.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I have nothing to add unless there's any questions.
Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
So move.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Schuman, roll call, please.
Alderman Hoffman.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
Alderman Schuman.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
All right, second reading passes. Next, we'll move on to Bill 23-80, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending City Code Section 110.290, Mayor and Board of Aldermen Benefits, Section 125.030A2, General Provisions, Non-Covered Parties, Section 125.030K6, General Provisions, Nepotism, Section 125.120B, Attendance and Leaves, Annual Vacation Leave, Section 125.120E9, Attendance and Leaves, Occupational Leaves, Holidays, Section 125.240A, Other Employee Benefits, Insurance, and Section 125.240C, Retirement Plans. Second reading. Gina Wood, City Administrator, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board. The first reading was read and approved with 2 amendments. That was a modification to the proposed holiday schedule and then the modification to the retirement plan section. Those have been completed and included in the second reading draft of the bill.
All right, comments or questions from the board? Alderman
Mayor?
Ross.
Yes. Did you say Alderman Ross?
Alderman Ross, yes.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to propose an amendment on page 30 of the packet, section 2, where it talks about compensation to the board and the mayor. Excuse me, that the meeting amounts for the mayor be changed from 100 to 200, and the meeting amounts for the Board of Aldermen to be changed from 75 to 150.
All right, and that's a motion, sir?
Yes, it is.
All right.
A
Is there-
second.
Alderman Hoffman, comments or questions from the board?
Could we clarify that because his was a little muffled?
Yes, Alderman Ross made the amendment to change the meeting of the mayor from 100 to 200, and the meeting for the aldermen from 75 to 150, was seconded by Alderman Hoffman. An amendment. Any other further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now moving on to the original bill. Any further comments or questions on the reading of the bill? Alderman Rucker.
Yes. I have a question as it relates to the medical insurance. And my concern or question is this, and I apologize for not contacting the attorney prior, but to be very honest, I was blowing leaves this afternoon and that's when it hit my brain, so. The board cannot receive a raise until they've been elected. Correct. Or re-elected or whatever. Okay, here's my concern, the easiest way I can explain it. There is a benefit in here for health insurance, okay? So let's say I take the health insurance, I get re-elected, and I get the health insurance, and it costs the city $300 a month, whatever it is. Let's say $300, just for my argument's sake. then all of a sudden, the following year, I'm still in my term, and there is an increase, or maybe even later this year, there is an increase to the insurance. And the insurance now goes from $300 a month to $400 a month. I should not receive that. Or should I, or can't, or, and whichever way it is, and if it's not appropriate for me to receive that increase because I haven't been elected again, then the staff needs to keep track of that so that I only get the 300 in the example. You see where I'm coming from?
That's a great question. I don't, sitting here, I don't have an answer for you. I would
Sorry,
have
I
to do a
didn't get
little
it to your,
research.
like I said, I was blowing leaves this afternoon. I was like,
My gut tells me that that you're being set a benefit level, not an amount, but I would have to do some research to confirm that.
just
So I have
concerned.
one comment on that too, and I agree with, because you're not putting a dollar price, you're giving a benefit. That is not any different than you guys already get the retirement benefit, and anytime the city would change, and we have, it's the benefit, you're approving the benefit upon applicable time, not a cost cap. So if that was the case, we would have that issue when we had that extra 1% that you guys also have an opportunity to do.
Okay.
So,
My gut tells me that that's not a problem, but I would like to be able to do some research to confirm
And
that.
I guess, you know,
Obviously,
even if we pass it and everything and comes back that it's not legal or appropriate, I mean, it could be changed, but that's just a question. I just want to make sure we're doing it by the book.
Very good. All right, any other comments or questions from the
Good
board?
question, Kevin.
All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading with the amendment from Alderman Ross?
So move.
Alderman Rose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Hoffman, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Schuman?
yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Rose?
Yes.
Alderman Ross?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
Yes.
All right, second reading passes. On to new business. First is a resolution, 2023-04, a resolution of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing disposal of records according to the Missouri Records Retention Schedule. Tara Barrett, City Clerk, please.
Yes, Mayor and Board of Aldermen. This is just a resolution asking for permission to destroy records that meet the criteria according to the Missouri Records Retention Schedule. Carrie Bell and myself have went through, along with Joel, have went through all of our files downstairs and in our respective closets and found that there's numerous files that can be destroyed. So we have made up this resolution. You should see the list in your packet. All of these are files that are no longer needed. Cole went through a list from previous decades and decades ago of legal files that can be destroyed. She has some financial files, and I have contractors, business license, contractor licenses, and old bid packets that were never awarded that need to be destroyed as well. So this is just routine housekeeping, house cleaning, destruction resolution I need to have approved by you so we can get that taken care of. For recommend approval.
Very good. Comments or questions?
I have one question.
Alderman Hoffman.
I assume this is a shred process, probably? Yeah. Is this everything we've got here that we know of, or is it something where, like, maybe building has got some stuff that they need to shred? Like, can we get it all done at once, is my
It'll be-
question?
Yeah, so this is just one section, so then buildings, as soon as they get their stuff done, they've been super swamped. They have some stuff, police has stuff, Public Works. It's an ongoing thing. This happens once or twice a year. We'll come back with more resolutions as the year goes on. We'll do another one in the middle of the year. We'll bring some more back.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process.
Just wanted to try and maximize, because I assume the truck comes out here,
Yeah, it does.
correct?
Yep,
Okay.
and it's completely secure, everything. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve the resolutions?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Hoffman, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, let the shredding begin. Next, we'll move on to Bill 23-81. This is a first and second reading. The first reading, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing establishing and providing for election procedure to be followed by the general municipal election to be held on April 2nd, 2024 in the city of Osage Beach, Missouri. Tara Barrett, City Clerk, please.
Great. Thank you, Mayor, Board of Aldermen. This is something we have to do every year in order to hold the election in April. We are calling for elections April 2nd of 2024. It'll be posted in the newspaper, and general election, all packets and everything will be available December 5th at 8 a.m., and it'll close on December 26th. I just need to have an ordinance so we can post and get you guys reelected or get anybody that wants to run for a seat. I recommend approval.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
So move.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Schuman, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, first reading carries. Second reading, same bill, 23-81, an ordinance to the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing, establishing, and providing for election procedure to be followed by the general municipal election to be held on April 2nd, 2024 in the City of Osage Beach, Missouri. If there's no further comments or questions, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
I will second to avoid the side eye, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Alderman Osteen. Thank you. Roll call, please. I kept waiting on you. You could see.
I know.
Alderman Ross,
Yes.
Alderman Morose,
Yes.
Alderman Rucker,
Yes.
Alderman Schuman,
Yes.
Alderman Osteen,
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Second reading carries. On to Bill 23-82, it's an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Raftillis. Did I say that correctly? All right. Consultants doing business as Raftillis for Public Works Operational Review and Assessment Project for an amount not to exceed $55,000. This too is going to be the first and second reading. Mike Welty, Assistant City Administrator, please.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. I do have a couple of comments to make, but Alderman Rucker, you brought this back. Did you want to make any statements before I go through any of my comments, sir?
I requested this to be put back on the agenda. It was brought forth to the board a number of weeks or months or so ago, what it was. And at that meeting, there was some question as to the financial situation of the sewer fund. Where we were at, there was thrown out a big number of a whole bunch of expenditures, and it was just kind of there was a cloud over it, and so it was not passed. I spoke with one of the folks that voted no, which was Alderman Osteen, and we chatted about it, and he was in favor of wanting to get this done and move forward with it. So I requested that since we at least had one of the no's that wanted to move forward as well, and that I requested it be put back on the agenda so that we could go into it. I think that it's something we need to do. We have discussed the public works, specifically the sewer, concerns of just how many people we do need over there. We don't have a normal sewer department because of the pressurized system, and I think we need to find out what we need for people to be over there. And also, we've struggled with the public works area of the organization, and I think this is needed to help get us a handle on what we need and what can be done to improve those operations. So that's why I requested, felt it was important enough, and also after talking with Assistant City Administrator Welty, found out that the price was quoted was still good if we could get it moving, and there is money in the budget, and that money was not rolled forward because the budget was done before we had voted it down. So there is money still there in that budget. So with that, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just a quick summary here. First of all, as Alderman Rucker stated, the Raftillis has said they will honor the price as long as we sign a contract with them before 12/31/2023. Additionally, if if this was approved, I would ask, make sure that the board understands that the schedule will no longer work the way it would previously, and we would probably look at starting this project sometime near the middle to end of the first quarter, so we could get on their schedule. And I just want to remind the board that we've never done anything like this in the Public Works area at all. And just a quick summary, this is much more than just evaluating our employees. So this is understanding the fundamental knowledge, skills, and experience of our Public Works team, effectiveness of current organizational culture and alignment with departmental operational policies and capabilities, credibility and reputation of the department, both internally and externally, department ties to best practices in the Public Works realm, understanding Public Works project results-driven contracting principles, capabilities of identifying management trends and conditions, strengths, weaknesses, and recommendations on improvements to the operations, recommendations on technology, training, and much more. So I want to make sure that it's understood. This is not just them coming in and saying, oh, well, you need 3 more people in this department. This is a very comprehensive review of our department's staff, policies, and processes. And it is something that I do feel is badly needed. So happy to answer any questions, and I do recommend approval.
All right, board, any comments or questions? Alderman Osteen.
I do have some comments. I was the swing vote that denied this the first time it was proposed. Not that I was opposed to the idea of it, I just did not like the presentation of this because there were several red flags and questions that need to be answered. I've had several conversations with Mr. Welty about this, as well as Alderman Rucker, and all my questions regarding this I think have been fleshed out and are more in a better presentation of what this is actually going to encompass. So I'm 100% behind this. I think it's something that's well overdue because it's something that's never been done for this department. I think actually this is something we need to look at for other departments as well, because we've been running on staffing levels set by what standards? Public Works, it's some recommendations through some surveys and studies we have every couple of years, but there's never been a comprehensive analysis of individual departments to say, are these staffing levels we've been running for the last 10, 20 years efficient for what we are handling as far as production, volume, et cetera? So I'm 100% behind this and always was. I just didn't like your presentation before, Mike. So thanks, sir. Moving forward, I think this is smart for us to do.
Alderman Rose.
I have some reservations. First of all, several years ago, we did hire a company to evaluate the west end of the Glaze Bridge out on Parkway, Buxton or whatever the name of it was. Whatever the name of it was. I can't remember.
It wasn't Buxton, it was an engineer company.
Bucks, whatever. Anyway, they did their thing, and we spent $60,000 to $70,000 on it, and that went on for months. And when that was over, they told us what we would probably that they would recommend, but nothing ever materialized from that. Secondly, I'm looking at our budget, and I'm thinking we still need to hire a city engineer, and I hope we can hire him that he's well qualified and it will be salaried thus that he deserves. I'm thinking of the money that we'll spend to hire an engineer, and I'm thinking of the fact that the last several years we've been playing catch up of what we need at Public Works because of lack of either expertise or whatever, that things have gone wrong and we didn't realize it, that now we're catching up and replacing equipment that we should have done systematically throughout the months, but we haven't. So we're spending a lot of money to play catch up. I don't know of hiring a company to come in and to evaluate and looking at our situation. It's going to take them several months to understand it. I'm not opposed to hiring somebody like that, but with our sewer department and water department, we are just at guts end of spending a lot of money, and we will be continuing. And I have reservations like, how valid will this be? And once they get done in 7 or 8 months, as they said it's going to take to process their situation, will we be better off? I just have reservations about it. Thank you.
All right, further comments from the board. Alderman Hoffman.
Well, I've been pretty candid with our assistant administrator too, and with the other aldermen and the mayor. The timing on this is just completely wrong to me. You don't have an engineer hired. We're spending $55,000 where we could be spending $55,000 to bring in a consultant, whoever the best sewer person is that we can find. That's where that $55,000 should go to me. When you get that handled and that guy in here to help us get the sewer running as best we can, and we hire an engineer, then I think we should do this. But the first thing that this person's gonna say when they come in is, well, your sewer has got real problems and you don't have a city engineer. And I don't need a specialist to tell me that. I don't think anybody else does. So again, I like this idea. I know Public Works probably needs it, but I think the timing is just completely wrong.
All right, any other comments from the board?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Well, I don't see where the fact that we don't have a city engineer has any bearing on this. This is not going to tell us if we need a city engineer or not. This is talking about the sewer department, the water department, and transportation. The fact that we are looking for a city engineer, and when we will get one, I don't know. Obviously, the market's challenging with that, but this is not not that we don't have a city engineer. This is telling us about the other nuts and bolts of the operation. We've had our most recent Public Works Director felt that we needed additional staff to do this, to run the operation. We never got to a point of how many staff, because there was a discussion of doing something like this, that somebody would be able to help us and look at that. So I don't think it has any bearing on the fact of the city engineer and timing. I think the timing is perfect. We need to get it done and figure out so we can move forward, so we can properly utilize our funding the best we can with moving forward. And we need a plan, and I think this will help us out. Thank you.
All right. Alderman Hoffman.
Mr. Rucker, I understand your point on this. I know this is something that the city's probably needed for a while, but I look at our sewer being the #1 problem in this city. I talk to constituents about it over and over, and I think that we need a consultant who specializes in the sewer system to come in and help us, and I put that as a priority over evaluating the rest of Public Works. I think we should fix our own house before we bring someone in to tell us how to redesign it.
I respectfully disagree with you. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Mayor?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ross, did you say anything?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay,
Everybody's
I'm
doing
sorry.
great.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Osteen.
I've got a few comments I want to address. Two of the key issues I keep hearing from some of the aldermen here. We keep talking about the city engineer. That's a position that's been posted for how long now, Gina?
At least a month. Well, we started it several months, and then we've recently reestablished that, and
So a lot of the reservations are going back to, we're going to hire a city engineer, but we can't move forward with this department based on hopes and what ifs. Because we do not have a city engineer, we cannot guarantee we're going to have one in a month, 6 months, 12 months. Yes, a lot of this circles back to that position, but once again, that position is not filled, nor do we have any guarantees it's going to be filled in the next year. A lot of the reservations are regarding budgeting items and the amount of money that's going into these departments. Well, I think part of what has been presented is their analysis is probably going to point out cost efficiency issues for us, where we can cut corners, where we're basically wasting money we shouldn't be wasting. So to me, this is going to help us save money, not help us spend money. So once again, I just want to reiterate that, yeah, budgeting is of concern with this department specifically, but all this talk about the city engineer, that to me is a non-issue, because that position does not exist. Nor do we have any guarantees it's going to in the next year.
Do you think it's likely that if
Alderman Hoffman.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
I apologize. Do you think it's possible that when a city engineer is hired, that some of the problems in Public Works might be solved internally without spending $55,000 for someone to tell us what that problem is. That's my question.
We can't move forward with the crystal ball, Justin, and that's basically what you're proposing. I'm looking at cold, hard facts. This is a position that's not filled, so what do we do with the intent and the idea that that position is not going to be filled? This is what we need to do now.
Well, I would like to look at that crystal ball sometime in April.
All right, any other comments or questions from the board? Do I have a
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Ross.
It's harder to being remote, but I will just chime in. I will just say this. I think the engineer has some effect on this. I think the operations manager has even more effect on this. In the end, we may, to Alderman Hoffman's point, we may hire an operations supervisor, and we have a city engineer in Cochran, and I had an extensive conversation with Dave Van Litter today, and there's a few things that they have some experience in that they might be able to help us with also. I don't think we need an outside consultant. Someone made mention about saving, I think that was Alderman Osteen, about saving money. I will just tell you that and I've only been around a few, most of them at the city, I have never seen a consultant come in and tell us where we can save money. They always tell us where we need to spend more money. And I don't think that that's the focus that they're going to have. If you look at some of the information that they talk about, some of the information they talk about, like the AWPA self-assessment, is something that we could be doing as a member of the AWPA anyway. Why would we pay somebody to do that? I believe that what needs to happen is department heads need to become subject matter experts in their own fields, and they do that through experience. They do it through conferences, associations, relationships, and networking. And over time, they build themselves as subject matter experts, and I just don't see the value in this. And so, in my mind, if I thought there was a lot of ability for them to cut costs and there be a return, I could possibly consider it, but I don't see the need for this and won't support it. Thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Osteen, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
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 All right, let's do a roll call vote, please, for first reading.
Alderman Morose?
No.
Alderman Ross?
No.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Schuman?
Yes.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
No.
Mayor Hermanson?
Yes.
Passes with the first vote.
All right, second reading. Same bill, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Raftillis Consulting, Inc., doing business as Raftillis, for Public Works operational review and assessment project for an amount not to exceed $55,000. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit. Because I actually had been talking to a couple different aldermen the last few days about this, and quite honestly, did not know what I was going to do until this afternoon. So I started Googling Raftillis, if I'm saying that correctly, and made my decision before I came in here tonight based on what I had found out from them. And as you're talking here, I brought it up, and it was in my mind, but since I'm going to be the deciding vote, it looks like, I kind of wanted to tell you why I came up with my decision. And Raftillis, they are out of Kansas City natives, so they're going to be close by. Some of the other bids came in where they had travel costs. And just the first sentence here, I'm not going to bore you with everything about them, but after doing my research, they said they focus on the people that make local governments and utilities successful, ensuring that those that lead these organizations in the areas of finance, management, communication, technology, have a trusted partner to help them to achieve the result. They look to us for financial strategic planning, performance measurement, executive search and recruitment, rate studies, cost of service analysis, communications, and stakeholder engagement, data, economic analysis, and more. And the point of all that is I don't think that we're just spending $55,000 on a company to come in here and say, hey, we're not an expert in 1,500 lift stations of pressurized systems. But they'll come in here and they'll look at rates. They'll come in here and say, here's what we think you need to do. So that's why I came with my decision. I'm not saying that to sway any of you, but I'm just telling you that as we go into the second reading, That's why I'm in support of this, So, second reading, orders 23-82, an ordinance to the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Raftilis Consulting, doing business as Raftilis, for public works, operation review, and assessment project for an amount not to exceed $55,000. This is the second reading. Do I have any further comments? Alderman Hoffman.
Just one. Everything you just read sounds fantastic. Again, I just want to be on record saying I would support this if it was in the spring. I think that $55,000 could be spent on a sewer expert right now, and I find that to be more important. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I would have supported this at a later date, but that's where I stand on that.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Schuman, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Osteen, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Rucker,
Yes.
Alderman Morose,
No.
Alderman Ross,
No.
Alderman Osteen,
Yes.
Alderman Schuman,
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman,
No.
Mayor Harmonson.
Yes. All right. Second reading carries. Pardon?
Is that your second tie vote?
I think so. All right, next we're going to move on to Bill 23-83, an ordinance to the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Don Sneeders Excavating for the Bluff Drive Shoulder Improvement Project for an amount not to exceed $146,585. This is the first reading. Mike Welty, City Administrator, please.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. This is a project that we bid out in October. The bids were opened on November 2nd. The city did receive 3 bids, with the low bid being Don Sneeders. You may remember that Don Sneeders is the contractor that completed the city's parking lot and the new front and everything. So we've got some experience with them, and we really do feel very comfortable with them. This project will repair a failing shoulder along Bluff Drive between Ski and Hamrock. The budget for this was $120,000, which has been carried over to the 2024 draft budget for this project. The project is over budget, and I have talked with the city administrator, and the lowest priority drainage project that was in the 2024 budget will be dropped to account for funds to make up for the overage that we have here. So essentially no real effect to the 2024 budget. This is a project that you may remember we struggled with some easement issues earlier in the year. We ended up finally resolving that. And then over the last month or so, or over the last 2 or 3 months, the engineers have been able to kind of complete the project and get it bid out. I do recommend approval. If approved, this project would start in the spring of 2024. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Alderman Rose.
Will this be the last, expense we will have for Bluff Drive? We've spent a lot of money over there. Is this the last?
This is the last project that I have that is related to any changes to Bluff Drive in the near future. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
So move.
Alderman Rose, second, Alderman Rucker. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, first reading passes. Next, we have an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, Bill 23-84, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending section 110.110, providing for the regular board meeting to begin on the hour of 5:30 on the first and third Tuesday of each month. Am I the wrong one? Nope, I'm sorry, I didn't turn this over. Yeah, there's me, Mayor Michael Harmonson. Yeah. What said Mike Welty? I'm like, I didn't turn my paper over. No, as you know, this was up for discussion of the last meeting. Based on the discussions, I felt as though most everybody was leaning towards the first and third Tuesday at 5:30. I know we had some opposition, so I went ahead and put it through as an ordinance. So anyway, do I have any comments or questions from the board? Alderman Rucker, I knew you would.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank the public. I had some input from the public that seeked me out and was both in favor of what I stood by and was opposed. They were in favor of the fact of I don't want to move the meeting from Thursday. I wasn't opposed to the 5:30, but I wasn't greatly in favor of it either. But they felt that I was opposed to the move to 5:30. As far as the time, 5:30, that's, my only concern is that moving forward, if that becomes an issue with people, especially aldermen, being able to get off work in time to be here at 5:30. That's my only concern if that hampers that situation. And I guess time would only tell if it does. But as far as the date, I'm still opposed to the Tuesday. One of the other things that I didn't even consider with all the other Tuesday operations going on is we have a sewer board meeting that meets on Tuesday. So the representative of the board, along with the mayor, along with a couple staff members, usually 3, are involved in that meeting. So, that could be a challenge to leave that meeting and be here on time for this one here at 5:30. There's talk about that organization may not meet every month, but if they do that, don't know what time the meetings, how long they will last. They typically last between a half hour and 45 minutes. So, what happens if they're going to go longer now that they're going to be less? So I think why even have that conflict? Why even have that potential? Thursday's been for 25 some years. There hadn't been a problem with it. And so therefore I still can't support moving the meeting to Tuesday. Thank you.
Alderman Hoffman.
Alderman Onstein wasn't here for the discussion piece last time.
Correct.
I would just like to know how this affects you, because does that?
It's a problem.
I actually
Alderman Osteen.
I actually had some comments on that. Time frame, obviously, this is going to be rough for me. I can guarantee you if we move these to Tuesdays, I will be late every meeting if it's a 5:30 meeting. That's a guarantee across the board because of my job and how much I have to be committed to my primary employment. My issue with this being moved to Tuesdays is, as a professional business person in the Lake community, this may not be of issue for those that are retired, but the first and third Tuesdays of the month are when they have your chamber meetings, your chamber socials, your LO Profile Launch Magazine socials, all the events where all the Lake area business owners and leaders are always at the first Tuesday, and the third Tuesday of the month is when those events occur. Case in point, my company is sponsoring the Lake Chamber Social this coming Tuesday.
That's true.
If we were to move these to Tuesdays, guess what? My company is sponsoring an event I could not attend. And I'm the person who runs this office and spearheading that event. But it'd be a toss-up of, do I go to the Alderman meeting or do I go to the event that I'm sponsoring? So it's going to be very difficult for me if these go to Tuesdays and 5:30s as well. But that's just me personally. Obviously, it's the board's decision. And Phyllis, you know this because I've seen Alderman Rose at a lot of the events I'm talking about on Tuesdays. So.
All right, any other comments or questions?
Launch parties.
Question. Alderman Rucker has a question.
That's the first Tuesdays.
Bob, a question on the Tuesday. I understand what you said. Is a Thursday, if we stay with Thursday and go to 5:30, is that is a business? You're in the business world, okay? Is that an issue? Would that be a problem?
The 5:30 time frame is always going to be an issue, but I'll make it work. Tuesdays are going to be a bigger issue than Thursdays because, once again, my job is to be out in the public and to attend those events where you've got a captive audience of realtors and business owners, et cetera.
Sure.
And moving to Tuesdays will be very detrimental to my employment and my job and my responsibilities there. So it'd be a 50-50 every meeting of which one am I going to attend.
I didn't realize about the social stuff with the chamber and everything. That's
Yep.
There are,
That's a valid
Every
point.
third
Yeah,
Tuesday
very
of the
valid
month
point.
is chamber.
yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Alderman Huffman?
If I could pose you one more question, just because we didn't get your perspective last time. What about Wednesdays? Do you see the same pitfalls with Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Well,
Alderman Schuman's got issues there.
I don't think you were here either.
No, I wasn't, no.
No.
So,
I'm just looking at this overall from a professional standpoint for those and who have, nothing against retirees, but that are, part of your job is to be at these events. That is part of my job. And obviously Tuesdays are a conflict. Wednesdays, Thursdays, any other day of the week, I don't have an issue with. It's just Tuesdays are not good.
But just so I understand, Thursdays at 5:30 would be okay?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not, you'd have, be here as much at 5:30 as you would at 6 on Thursday, correct?
I'll be here at 5:29.
Okay. All right.
That's okay.
All right.
But the decision doesn't hinge on me. I just want to say.
I understand, but
this
that's
might be
a valid-
personally.
that's-
Don't
That's a valid
make
point
decisions
about
based
the-
on my schedule.
Did it, Alderman Schuman?
And I know somebody, or you asked about Wednesdays, and I heard somebody else say it, and though it doesn't affect me directly most weeks, Wednesdays is a very big night for church, for kids to be in service, or like kind of kids' church, or adult church and all that stuff, like Wednesday night around here anyways, in the lake area, most every church, and there's a lot of people attend those, so if we have a meeting and a public wants to attend, it's kind of like, and I know you're not gonna make everybody happy going to there's no way to do it for everybody,
Right.
but I do think Wednesday night, I've been parts of like with the school and stuff, and anytime something happens on Wednesday night, the attendance is so low because people won't go to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the point I made a lot during the discussion item, but, and it sounds like, not that I'm steering this, but it sounds like, I agree that Tuesdays are definitely out, but it sounds like the 5:30 timeframe sounds correct. Would anybody like to motion to amend it to
I would.
5:30 on Thursday?
sorry to jump the gun. I would like to make a motion to amend it to 5:30 on Thursdays.
First and third Thursdays.
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman, or Alderman Ross, is that your hand up?
Yeah, I just
thought
had a
it froze
question on
frame.
Tuesdays is.
I'm sorry?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. If it was Tuesdays on, because keep in mind, staff was one of the beneficiaries of this. And so my question is if it was Tuesday on second and fourth, I realize might conflict with Lake Ozark meetings or maybe Camden or something. I can't remember. There was something brought up along the way. But would second and fourth be any less imposition on socials and things like that?
Planning Commission is on the second Tuesday.
Yeah, we already have
Well, that can be moved.
I don't.
Why move them?
An LO profile, the chambers.
So I'm sorry.
That's first and third. He's saying.
Chamber's third.
Okay.
Chamber's third.
So the question was, is there any less imposition on some of the social business functions being on the second and fourth versus the first and third?
I think Mr. Patterson brings up a good idea. It's a domino effect because P&Zs are second Tuesday. So therefore now we move P&Z to when, and therefore then it's a domino effect of then what next meeting are we moving because we're accommodating that change. I'm just throwing it out there.
Is there a motion on the floor?
All right. Alderman Hoffman had a motion to amend to the first and third Thursdays at 5:30. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right.
could I tag on a little comment to that? I'm making the motion hoping we can settle that now and maybe readdress this later if we want to change the date. But for now, I would like to make a motion to move it to 5:30 on the first and third Thursdays.
All right. Do I have a second to the amendment?
I will second that.
Alderman,
What's my name?
he's raising his hand. I'm thinking of him. Looking at me.
Hey, you.
Alderman Osteen had the second. All right. We have a first and second on the amendment to the motion. So,
Thursday.
all right. Any further discussion on the amendment? All right. Do we have all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're going to move back to the original bill with the amendment. So now that we have the first and third Thursday at 5:30, unless did we already do that then?
Well, now
Yes.
you need to approve the bill with the amendment.
All right. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. All right, so now we're going to, same bill with the amendment for the first and third Thursday at 5:30. This is the first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
Question.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it needs to be in the ordinance, but do we need to put a start date?
It has it in there.
Oh,
It
does-
effective January 1st, 2024.
I'm sorry, I
so
didn't see it. Excuse me, I didn't see it.
All right,
It's effective 2024.
all right. Do I have a motion to approve first reading with the amendment?
Motion.
Alderman Rucker. Do I have a second? Alderman Morose. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Clear as mud, right?
There's mud.
All right, very good, folks. All right, now we're going to move on to department list update. We'll go to City Administrator Gina Woods, please.
Mayor, members of the board, I do not have any further updates on my items. I did take a few off the list as requested by Alderman Rucker. So just a reminder to all of you, anytime you want amendments or added, just let me know. Other than that, I was in Columbia today along with our city treasurer and staff accountant and for the GFOA, and I will tell you, they always put on a really, really good conference. Very informative, kind of on the money side of things versus MML, sometimes is on policy side. So I appreciate being able to continue to go to those, and I know Carrie and April do as well, and Carrie is part of that board, so she is doing her board duties because she is very active on that board. That is all I have.
All right, thank you. Assistant City Administrator Mike Welty, please.
Nothing to say about any of the outstanding things on the list, but I do believe we have the Thanksgiving holiday next week, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I will be approaching my 20th year with the city in 2024, so I'm very thankful for the career I've had here, and just, it's a great family, great place to work. That's all I have.
All right, thank you much. City Attorney Cole Bradbury.
This week feels like it's already next Wednesday. It's been a doozy. We had started off with a jury trial set on a prosecution case on Monday. Jury was in the hallway when the gentleman finally decided to plead guilty a year and a half later. Been working with Ron on some other compliance enforcement issues, and we are slowly but surely obtaining compliance. And Tara on another one, obtaining compliance on one of her business license ne'er-do-wells. Other than that, Gina and I spent several hours on Tuesday working on the Tantera State Sewer discussion. We've had a very productive meeting with the POA there, and we've got some information we're going to gather and go back and meet with them again, and hope to have more to report for you. It will be, this is going to be clearly going to be a slow slog of a process, but we've started now so that we've got time to work on it. So be happy to update with that more with you guys offline, but thought it was a productive meeting, and I think everyone understands where everyone stands, and we're going to keep moving forward.
Very good. Thank you. City Clerk Tara Barrett.
No, thank you, Cole, for taking care of my compliance issue. I'm very happy with that. Other than that, just been busy working on all of my contractors' licenses. They're coming in leaps and bounds, but nope, other than that, we're all good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Chief Davis.
Excuse me. Two of our dispatchers, Haley Scott and Kayla Smith, completed their basic 40-hour dispatch training this past week. Kayla also completed her communication officer training, so she's released on her own in dispatch. And we are beginning the hiring process again. They interviewed one earlier this week and have a couple, 2 or 3 more scheduled for the week after Thanksgiving.
Great news. Great news.
We're at 7 full-time, 1 part-time, and
Very good.
so we're getting a little closer.
That's good news.
So, and we've got 1 police officer in background that he's currently in the academy at Missouri Southern down in Joplin. So, and one of our other applicants backed out to go be a fireman. So go figure.
He saw the light.
All right, thank you. Building official Ron White.
No updates to give, but I will mention that over the past couple of weeks, kind of like what Cole alluded to, everybody's been alluding to, we've had a lot of action in all of the departments. And I can tell you that from my experience in my role with the city, I've never had a better working group than I've got right now with Cochran with our transportation, sewer, and water. Everybody works together very well, and we have a lot of quick responses that have occurred over the last couple of days. So just shout out to them. Happy Thanksgiving.
Very good, thank you. Airport, Ty Dinsdale.
Nothing, sir. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right. Human Resource, Michael Reyes.
Mayor, members of the board, I was trying to have the employee survey out, the summary out to you guys this afternoon. I didn't quite make the deadline for that, but I'll have that out to you tomorrow. Currently, we have 8 positions open, so if anybody out there is interested, get out on our website and take a look and see if something interests you. The Loggers Workshop, January 11th. If you have any questions on, for the Loggers people, for our current retirement people, any questions, please get those to me as soon as you can, because we are going into the holiday season. And then just have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Is that meeting 6 PM on the 11th?
Yes.
That's what it's set up now, but if you want to do the 5:30.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that, yes. Okay.
That's easy, we can do that.
Okay. Very good. All right, City Planner, Carrie Patterson, please.
Yes, Mayor, I won't be in the office next week, but if you need anything, I'll just be handling Leaf Mageddon at my house. So if you need anything, shoot me an email, send me a text, whatever. I think you all have my contact stuff. I'll be in town, so.
You're on
that's all I
vacation.
have. Huh?
You're on vacation.
I know, but I also don't like to come back to 200 emails. I'm that guy.
Go catch us some crappie.
Only 200?
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Chief, we know you're busy. But that's all I have. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you. All right, Alderman Rucker.
Yes, Mayor. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I will be in California for Thanksgiving, and from there, over the next week or 2.5 weeks, in the ocean around Hawaii. So I won't be at the next meeting. I won't be Skyping in or nothing. I will be, I'm not going to be in contact. I do have one item I want to throw out to the board. I have some concern of something that happened at our last meeting. And it was a reference to the tower, the Lorraine Tower. And here's my concern. I don't know that we sent enough information away to Mr. Lorraine or his son, because my fear is that they're going to come back with some kind of an engineering report, because that's basically what we said we need, and we're going to look at it and say, well, that's not enough, because there was a lot of issues brought up at the meeting that I don't want to see them spend some money for an engineer, and then all of a sudden we're going to say, well, wait a second, we need an engineer to tell us, is the welding good? Is the structure good? Is the paint good? Whatever. I mean, I heard a lot of comments that I wrote down from the board, and I don't want to create an expense for Mr. Lorraine, and then we come back and say, oh, by the way, we need more information, because it'd be a lot cheaper for him if he went in with the total list of everything we want from that engineer, rather than having to go back and forth. I don't know how we want to create that, or I don't know. I'm just a little concerned about it. I know that, like I said, there was a lot of issues, and I just am concerned that he's going to come back and we're going to say, oh, well, we need more info. I don't know if we need to, each one of us, send what our concern is to the mayor, because I know that he had contacted the mayor, and then the mayor contacted him and said, okay, here's what we're looking for. We want to know what it's going to cost to paint. We want to know what's going to, we need to know what the welds are good. Whatever those are. I'm just trying to not create a more problem and move this thing along. Even though I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
very good.
Throw it at you and let you mull it over.
That's fine,
see
and
what
that's
you
fine,
think.
and now I'll be happy to talk to Mr. Lorraine. I guess I'll say this, that it's certainly a board decision, but even if the structure is 100% safe, structurally sound, everything else, does the city still want it? So
I agree.
that's still the question there. So
You're totally
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yes. And I'm not saying I'm just wanting to try to move along and not create another upsetness if all of a sudden we say, oh, well, we need this information too.
No, I'll be happy to reach out to Metro Lorraine.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Good point, yes. Alderman Schuman.
I was just gonna ask real quick, did we need to ask Cochran if they had anything for us, or do we not do that every time?
Oh, Eric's
Oh.
in the audience.
Oh, sorry, Eric. Cochrane Engineering.
I just now, I saw him and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I wonder if
You almost flew under the radar.
I thought he was sleeping. I didn't want to wake him up. All right, Alderman Shu.
Okay. I have nothing except for just everybody have a safe and happy holiday, and my feelings are out there for the teachers this week, dealing with the kids getting ready for break, and the parents next week for the kids being home all week. So good luck, and everybody have a great holiday.
All right, thank you. Alderman Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple things. One, just to address the tower issue. I'm thinking they probably should get that engineering evaluation anyway. Not, just guessing. Looks like it's pretty windy over there sometimes. Just a thought. And second question is, Gina, are the new positions already posted, or what was the date on those?
Well, no, the short answer is no, they're not. The board had a couple different motions dealing with those decisions. Those motions did not pass for lack of seconds. So basically, it was put back on my desk to make those decisions. So until draft 2, I know it's funded and adopted by everybody. That is when I'll pull the trigger on those.
When are we thinking we're going to see the second draft?
The draft for the budgets are always the first meeting in December for the first reading and public hearing, and the second reading and the second meeting in December.
Okay, thanks, didn't know that. Third, Mike, I'm not going to ask for a synopsis on the sewer this week in the spirit of Thanksgiving, but I'm hoping next week, without me asking, we can get an update on the sewer and just how it's doing and if it's getting put in or how the Vapex is working, everything.
You want an
Whatever.
update? I'll give you one.
I'm going to ask every meeting unless you bring it up, so.
Right, so Vapex has been ordered. We believe that it will be delivered probably at the end of the first, beginning of the second week of December. And the contracts for the for the Sands project are in the hands of the contractor right now. I expect to have a signed copy back by the end of the week. I expect to schedule a pre-construction meeting probably sometime before the end of the year, and I expect them to start construction in January, no later than February.
So.
And everything, all of this will be complete by the time we get to Memorial Day, 100%.
I should hope so.
Then no delays from the last time we talked about it?
No, sir.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So lastly, the parade was fantastic for those who showed up. There was a lot of Corvettes. That was pretty cool. I'm a vet fan. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for taking the time to make a little video. He and I are both veterans. We had a little good time with that. We had a really good turnout, and I had a lot of good feedback about it, too. So thanks to everyone who helped and was involved, and thanks to all the people out there who were supporting the veterans and the Elks Lodge. And other than that, happy Thanksgiving. Everyone be safe. I was in Hawaii for 3 years. You will enjoy it. If you want to know the secret spots, ask me after the meeting.
All right, thank you very much. Alderman Osteen.
I have several items this evening, none of them very in-depth. First of all, I would like to congratulate the mayor on what I believe was his first tie-breaking vote since he took office this evening.
Actually, it was the second one, but thank you. I cannot remember the first one was, but yeah, thank you.
I would like to commend the city of Osage Beach on the proclamation the mayor read earlier this evening, recognizing those of American Indian heritage. A lot of people claim to have Indian in them. I've got the receipts to prove it. I am part Apache Indian and actually a direct descendant of Geronimo. So, very nice for the city to recognize those with American Indian background. And for the record, it's not American Indian, it's Indigenous Americans.
What?
Indigenous Americans.
I was wondering.
We got the proclamation from them.
I know.
The proclamation actually had both in the proclamation.
Yeah. I'm curious if there's been any discussions with the board, since this is a topic we've already had this evening, regarding the December 21st meeting. Since that is the Thursday before the Christmas weekend, I'm just curious if there's any issues or anybody's made any comments about possibly wanting to reschedule that meeting for an earlier date. I just think with travel schedules, et cetera, it may be tough for some to be here on, once again, the Thursday evening before Christmas.
It's up to you guys.
Just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know what
I won't have a
everybody's
problem.
schedule looks like, but for those traveling out of town, I don't believe they would want to be here right before Christmas. Just throwing that out there.
I defer to the mayor.
Pardon me?
Is that I defer to the mayor?
No, there's no talk of changing the schedule
I was just
because
curious about that.
we have the ability to Zoom and all that sort of stuff. Because I had mentioned there's a reading that's very important that we need to have in before the end of the year, and it was made very clear that, I said, well, if we have bad weather, then what do we do? But there's systems in play now to do it remotely, so there's been no talk, so.
Okay, I was just curious.
Just a question, is that the final reading of the budget?
Yes.
Right there too? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying reschedule, I'm not saying cancel the meeting, I'm just wondering if anybody wanted to
Move it
discuss
up a week.
rescheduling it a night prior, a night before that, just because of the timing.
How about Tuesday at 5:30?
Throw that out there for discussion. In light of Veterans Day, which we just celebrated, I just want to point out that the Lake Area Chamber of Commerce has guides for all veterans that lists all businesses and restaurants, bars, et cetera, in the Lake area that honor veterans discounts year-round. I know there's a lot of things that go out in publication regarding Veterans Day, freebies, discounts, et cetera, for Veterans Day, but these are guides that those that honor our veterans year-round. So I just want to put that on public record, and for those veterans that are sitting here, it's to honor you year-round. Lastly, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That's all I have.
Thank you. Alderman Rose.
Thank you. First of all, I was glad, Justin, that you asked about that Vaporex or Vapex or whatever you call it. I didn't know if it was installed or not. Now I'm realizing it's not. Because I know Monday night I was going by and sure enough, the odor is still there, very strong. The other thing is reminding people to be sure to obtain a burning permit of burning their leaves. And unfortunately, we're going to be having some rain, I think. At least they're forecasting it because it is so extremely dry. I'm looking forward to our city park with our holiday of lights. And I'm hoping we're going to have more displays. Have you heard anything, Mike?
Yes, ma'am. We have at least 8 to 10 new displays.
Awesome.
That were purchased. Some of them were delayed. Some of them were supposed to be purchased last year. So we have all those displays. They'll be added to our inventory and shuffled around. So there will be some new displays. So you'll keep your eye out for those, yeah.
That's good news. Thank you. And of course, I've noticed the snowflakes have been installed on the poles on the parkway, which is good. Obviously, we're starting our season through the holidays, and I just can't emphasize enough to support everybody, to support our local businesses. There is some open houses going on this weekend, and of course, I'm sure that's one of several. And this is the Crash Responder Safety Week that I read on Facebook, so salute to them for all of their services. And other than that, happy Thanksgiving to one and all, and safe travels. Have a wonderful trip. I wish I could be in your suitcase.
You know, Phyllis, you mentioned the snowflakes.
I'm sorry?
You mentioned the snowflakes. I was driving down the parkway the other day, like 2 days ago with my kids in the car. I hadn't even noticed them. Both of them started freaking out because they noticed the snowflakes were up. So it is noticed.
Yeah.
Not by me, but by them, but I love them too.
Yeah, they look good.
Very good. Thank you. Alderman Ross.
Yes, thank you. Just a couple of things. One, wanted to let everyone know, and remind everyone, the Gala of Trees at Wobbly Boots that supports a lot of local charities is ongoing right now. It finalizes November 30th. On top of that, afterwards, our noon Lake Ozark Rotary opens up Candyland that usually services about 300 needy kids for Christmas. That starts November 25th and runs through December 15th. You can get the canes at Nick's True Value. There's some varying times, but mainly in the afternoon. But it's a great program for needy kids. I don't know of a better thing to do in the holidays than to help a kid have a great Christmas. So just want to let people know about that. Other than that, hope everyone has a wonderful holiday, travel safe, and spend a lot of time with the family. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you very much. I just have a few short things. For those listening at home and for the board, it is the job of the mayor to assign or to appoint planning commission members and board of zoning. The planning commission right now, we had some people leave and Tony Kern recently resigned. So thank you for those that left the service. But we have currently on the planning commission 8 members. The bylaws state that we cannot have any more than 15 or less than 5, and I did talk to our city planner, and 11 is kind of the sweet spot. So we're looking for 3 more, and so if you know of anybody, let me know. And Carrie, if you don't mind, well, let me finish. And the Board of Zoning and Adjustment, that does have 5 members, and we just had Bob Bickle resign. He's moving back to be closer to family, so thank you to Bob. So we only have 4. We need 5, and we can have as many as 3 alternates. Currently, 1 alternate. We're not going to move him to being a member because he travels quite a bit. So point being is, we're looking for probably 3 people to be on the Planning Commission. I do need 1 more person for the Board of Zoning, appointed by me, approved by the board. And just so you know a little bit, if you don't mind, Carrie, just let them know what those roles are responsible for.
For both positions?
Please.
So we'll start with the Planning Commission. Of course, everybody on the board understands what that does, but basically they are the citizen-appointed commission that looks at land use and zoning issues for the community, and then forwards recommendations on those requests, both from the private citizens all the way up to land use ordinances that go before the board and end up in our code books. And then the Board of Zoning Adjustment is basically the group that it is a sub-circuit court group that actually reviews variance requests based on what our zoning code is. Typically setback requirement variance requests from private citizens who are looking to add on to their home. The Board of Zoning Adjustment meets every 3rd Wednesday at 4 o'clock if there is a case, and the Planning Commission meets every 2nd Tuesday, currently at 6, but we're going to ask the chairman if she would like to move it to 5:30.
Very good.
So that is what those groups do.
And just for our understanding too, the Board of Zoning, there's been 3 years they've not even met, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they don't, the Board of Zoning Adjustment, on average meets, 3 to 4 times a year. And that is good. We don't want, to have to be looking at variances a lot. And like I told the mayor today, we went from 2011 to 2014, didn't have a single meeting, which is awesome. That is a great situation. In 2020, we had our largest number of meetings simply because the government sent out a lot of checks to people, so they decided to put that into their home a lot of times. So we had we looked at a lot of decks and carports and that type of thing. But average, 3 to 5 meetings a year for that group.
Thank you. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know. Send them my way, but we'll need to get those appointed here fairly soon. Thank you, Carrie. I too wanted to echo thank you to the Elks and the Veterans Day Parade. It was a good time. We had a good time out there. And for those around City Hall today, it was kind of a treat. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Michael Kehoe that came in today, and I took him around to our side, the police side, and we got a nice picture of him. I threw it out on Facebook, so check that out. It was very nice of him to come in. And side note too, you're talking about you being on vacation. I just laughed because in the Harmison household, my niece, when she was little, she could not pronounce vacation. So to this day, we still pronounce it cation. So have a good cation, Carrie. And,
My nephew,
the
my
same
grandson's
thing?
the same way.
Yeah, so have a good cation. And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving, travel safely, and so thank you very much. So with that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Alderman Hoffman, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rose, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
All right.
So, yeah.
You've already officiated the wedding, right?
Yes.
What fun. Oh, my God.
Whirlwind.
But you had good weather.
Please, yes.
And I can also then take our.
Every day,